What is going on to all of my Capricorns? So the cards that you got are the Lovers, the Hierophant, the Four of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Death card, the King of Wands, the Judgment, the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. So what I'm seeing here for you Capricorns, right? You didn't get the World, you didn't get the Devil card, right? Those are the major arcanas that would normally represent Capricorn. But you got the Lovers, the Hierophant, and the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Hierophant represents either Sagittarius or it can represent Taurus, which is another earth sign. So um overall there seems to be an emphasis on there seems to be a very serious emphasis with you Capricorns when it comes to um kind of wanting to know, right? The Lovers, Hierophant, Four of Pentacles, kind of wanting to know if a person is dysfunctional before you actually try to be in a relationship with them. Now, obviously, there are ways for you to be able to tell, but you're going to have to actually hang around them just a little bit, right? There's no surefire way for you to actually know who the person is until you actually start hanging around them. Even if you try to do a background check on the person, there's still a chance that that person could legitimately change. So there's no sure or foolproof way of finding out about the person and the current state if the person is still on some stuff as of today, right, than they were yesteryear or whenever. There's only really one way. And as I said this before, is to actually jump in and get to know them a little bit. A lot of times people don't necessarily want to do that. The Four of Pentacles, you don't want to do that. This is you like, why is it that you should have to do that even in the first place? Well, you have to do it because obviously, again, you can't necessarily judge a book by its cover, right? So a lot of times, you know, if to be honest with you, if you out here being super picky, right? It's one thing to be selective, but it's another thing to be super picky. If you're out here being very picky, you're actually limiting your options to the point where you won't really have too many options, if any options at all, right? This is why it is that a lot of the times those preferences that a lot of people continue to act like they have so much of, those preferences are really doing people in to a certain extent because a lot of those preferences or the types and stuff like this, people don't necessarily understand. Like for me, for instance, I wanted to date plus size and light skin, dark skin, and Middle Eastern. Taller, shorter, same height, because what that did or what that does for me is that puts me in a position where I can actually see who's real and who's not by not putting so much limitations on what it is that I want. Do I have a particular preference as far as an ideal? Sure, but at the same time, I also understand that everyone has flaws. So it may be the perfect. I was about to. It may be the perfect individual, but like the Listerine, you know, like their breath may stink, or or like they may have an extremely big toe or something like that. But the thing is that the Nine of Wands and the Five of Swords is that's part of why the relationships have been going so bad. Is because you know you're you're really at two different speeds, and Capricorn usually does that anyway, hot and cold. And that's what's kind of messing y'all up right now, to be honest with y'all, because y'all are supposed to slow down and actually get to know the person, right? A lot of times, you know, you Capricorns want acceptance, so y'all seek power in order to get acceptance, so that you can kind of proverbially proverbially break yourself into mainstream so that people can see you. You could be on every channel. All of that is well and good, but at the same time, Capricorn, that you still may not necessarily get the people who is really good for you. How you're going to do that is by taking risks. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, this is what it is I'm saying. Love is one of those things that really makes a coward out of people who claim to be so powerful. Now, I'm not saying that you Capricorns are a coward, but what I'm saying here is that that's what it is that love does. Because if you're afraid to get to know people, if you're afraid to get hurt, if you're afraid to, and when I say hurt, I don't necessarily mean, you know, to the point of where a person coming over to your home uninvited trying to break in. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is people doing all sorts of the most abnormal, silly things. If you're not willing to accept that, and you say that you're out here dating, you're not really out here dating. You're really wasting your own time, because this is going to be a part of it, especially now with so many attention heads, people seeking attention, doing the most for attention. So the things that the of Wands and the Five of Pentacles is that this is the type that is the majority out here, Capricorn. This is the type of stuff that most people are going to find. I find that. You find that. We all find that, right? That's the majority of what's out here. People who waste time, abnormal people, people who claim to want love so much, but then when they get it, they chicken up, they cowered up, and you're like, well, what happened to all that stuff you was talking? And then I don't know what you talking about, really. Let's talk about all these conversations that we had. What's up with that? I just told you that so I can get the drawers. I just told you that so I can get the deed. No, you didn't, because you didn't have to do that. You did it because you wanted to. Especially nowadays when you ain't even gotta trick anybody anymore. You could just say what it is that you want. Come on now. You did it because you wanted that, but then you chickened up like a old punk. But then the thing is that the Death card and the King of Wands is about how you have to learn to confront your own self, to confront your own personal shortcomings. The King of Wands represents your shortcomings. The Death card represents, look at how they're opposed to each other. The Death card represents the real you. The King of Wands represents the ego that you put up. Now, again, ego to a certain extent, it can be a good thing, but this is not venturing off into the area where the ego is used for your benefit. The Judgment represents, because if you don't, you'll never actually break through your own limitations. What kind of limitations are you Capricorns talking about? I mean the limitations where you never actually, because see, here's the thing, right? And I'm gonna make a video about this, kind of get deeper into this. If y'all want one, just let me know in the comment section below if you want me to make a video on love and stuff. But you can't be a very good judge of character if you're afraid to get hurt. I've made reconciliation with myself about that before the Aquarius came about, that, you know, created the contract and did all this other type of stuff and stuff like this. I made reconciliation with myself. I made a decision where, you know, if this person turns out to be a total fraud, which they turned out to be, I was willing to accept it, because the truth is that I can live with or without that person in my life. So I didn't really care at the end of the day. It hurt, yes, of course it did. But at the end of the day, I still was able to move on from it. So the things that the Judgment, right? The Judgment, and I even forgave the goofball. But the thing is that the Judgment represents this being a situation where this is the place in your life that you should, I'm not going to try to I'm not going to try to force you or, but you should get in your life, because then that absolves you really from that karma, right? The King of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles represents how, you can approach future situation two ways. You can do it with the sense of understanding your own self-worth and bringing value, or you can understand it from a perspective of trying to make everything logistical or logisticizing it and trying to, make it super rigid like a robot. That's not necessarily going to work, right? We are supposed to be flawed and make mistakes at the same time, but those inherent uniqueness and uh discrepancies create fluidity. So see, if everything is robotic, it means that it's uniform. You understand? So we're fluid because, like what Bruce Lee was talking about, we're fluid because we are inherently built in to break rhythms, which are perceived as mistakes. So the thing is that you got to understand, forgive yourself if you don't want to do that. Again, Four of Pentacles, which we are going to clarify, more rigidity. You're going to be super rigid, super scared, for what comes. And that's not going to keep your eyes open. So when there is somebody around the corner who's dysfunctional and is in your life and coming into your life, you won't even be on point to see, oh, there's no point in really hanging out with this person anymore because this person's full of it. You're just gonna immediately take it for face value, and then you're gonna be like, why do I keep getting hurt? Because you're not learning from your lessons. Pain is a part of the process. So to clarify the Four of Pentacles, we have the Strength, the Chariot, and the Queen of Wands. To clarify the Four of Pentacles, so the Strength is, again, don't use that tough outer exterior, because Capricorns because Capricorns a lot of the times cry themselves to sleep. Not all, but a lot of them do cry themselves to sleep. But the Strength represents how don't allow that tough exterior to be used against you. And then you have the Chariot, which is Cancer, which is the exact opposite of Capricorn. Don't allow don't allow that tough exterior to be used against you. But also what it's saying here is that you also have to learn to start carving out your own path. What do you really want? And if you want that, you got to stop being so afraid. Otherwise, stop dating. I'll say this: either stop being afraid to get hurt or stop dating forever, because this is what it is. This is I'm not a light magician. I'm a dark magician. And in one of those one of my future upcoming videos, I'm going to explain the differences. So then you have the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands represents here that with these types of people, you are wasting your time. These type of people who are hard-headed, arrogant, mental problems, yeah, they're difficult to deal with on purpose because they're dysfunctional. Okay, so you're just going to meet those people if you are not afraid. You're just going to meet those people if you're too afraid to look at what's going on around you. Let's clarify the Death card. So you have the Six of Cups, Two of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. Don't be surprised if while you're still trying to get to know other people, or maybe, like I said throughout the reading, some of you Capricorns may decide to chill out from dating for a while because you think you can't get what you want. Six of Cups, don't be afraid if someone whom you talk to in that way romantically from the past hits you up, which is what sparks this in the first place. But then you have the Two of Pentacles, which is the Two of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. You are supposed to move past this. So you're not supposed to actually be with them. It's another test. You're supposed to move past this situation where you don't have them around. This is what the King of Wands represents. Because if you were to get back together with them, they would still act the same way. Just telling you like it is. because it is what it is. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. If you'd like to contact me for a personal reading, my email address is in the description box below. And also my website the link to my website will be in the description box, as well as the comment section in the pinned post. Also, the link to my book on Amazon will also be in the description, as well as the comment section below. I'm currently trying to get my YouTube to 2,100 subscribers. Right now, I'm at 2,061 subscribers. We've got 39 subscribers left. Keep smashing that subscribe button. Keep hitting that notification bell and set that notification bell to all so that you can get notified whenever it is that I actually put a video out. Peace. Appreciate y'all.